Zombie apocalypse.
Welcome back, Night Nation. Is with Fam Night here, and today, welcome to our second video game review. At the time of recording this is actually our first, but in the terms of uploading on YouTube, this will be our second video game review. And today, we are going to be reviewing Bowser's Fury. This was another part in the Mario 3D World game. And yeah, we're going to do our reviews. As you guys know, we are going to be doing different categories, splitting them up. In total, there will be 10 points. Each category will be worth 3, except one of them will only be worth 1. We have visuals, which are worth 3 points, story, which is worth 3 points, gameplay, which is worth 3 points, and music will be worth 1 point. Altogether, that'll come out to the total, and that is our score on the game. Now let's go ahead and get started. I will be here joined with Void Knight in this review. He has also played the game, and this is his first review as well. So we're gonna go ahead and get started about the visuals. So first of all, this is a Mario 3D game. Like, when it comes to visuals, I mean, it's amazing. To put it easy, Mario 3D graphics. I mean, they're not the greatest, but they are phenomenal, especially the way they did Bowser. Bowser looks insane. Like, he is the coolest thing to look at. The more you look at him, like, the more and more you look at him, like, the just cooler he seems. Like, he is literally the ice cream in the cone. Like, he is that's a weird metaphor or expression, but he is literally amazing. The water is actually really nice for a Mario game. I know that's probably not the biggest deal to most of you, but the water really is nice. And the different areas on the map really stand out to me, because you have the snow area, you have just the default area, then you have the, like, sandy, I guess, desert, whatever, like the red desert area, and then you have some, like, floating objects, things like parkour and all that. So yeah, they definitely stand out to me and are very high quality. So when it comes to the visuals, it is amazing. And that red desert area I'm talking about is actually on the screen right now. You guys can actually see it. But yeah, all the places looked great. The visuals looked great. And for that, I'm giving visuals a 3 out of 3. Now, we're going to go ahead and hear from Void Knight himself on what he thought about the visuals in the game.
Well, Phantom Knight, I will tell you, the visuals, of course, Mario always has some great graphics and visuals. Coming out, Nintendo has done a very great job at most Mario games, looking stunning, just looking absolutely great. From Mario Odyssey to this game, I think the graphics are absolutely phenomenal. I mean, they look great. It has so much creativity. It feels like it's something about the way Nintendo creates Mario games. When I look at the graphics and visuals, I love them so much because of their creativity. Not just the fact that they look amazing, it's just that they're so creative. And that's what I think brings them out more. And they kind of, different, not only that, but like different areas, based on that creativity on the actual, map and everything, they really stand out. I think they really do a good job at showing, this is a Mario game and we have a lot to offer. So I definitely agree. I would definitely give visuals a 3 out of 3.
Absolutely. Thank you guys. Thank you, Austin, for the feedback on the visuals. Now we have 3 points out of 10. Let's add it up. So now we're going on to story. So when it comes to the story, I have to say it is definitely one of the most engaging stories. First of all, you have Bowser, which is, like I said, the ice cream in the cone. Like, he is the best part about it, hence the word Bowser's Fury. However, there are some improvements that need to be made, in my opinion. The best story elements are Bowser's, obviously, Giant Bowser and Bowser Jr. I love being able to be helped and assist by Bowser Jr. It's never really been done before, and it's very unique and new, which is something that they need to do more of. They need to start changing things up and doing more unique stuff. I'm not saying old Mario games are bad. I'm just saying, like, it's always nice to get something new and engaging, which is why it's one of the most engaging games, stories, because it's there's a lot of new stuff in here. However, I do have a few gripes. One of them being, I feel like the objective of the game kind of starts to wear off on you towards the end of the game. Like, you just have to go get stars. That's really the only way to progress in the game. Just getting stars. Like, it just kind of feels repetitive to me a little bit. I'm not saying it's bad. I do like the idea of going to get stars to get the giant bell, but that's all there is. There's nothing else apart from fighting Bowser, but that's kind of the main focus of the game. However, when it comes to the actual story, the lore behind it, it's all great, and you kind of just accept it because it's so amazing, just seeing Bowser there. But nothing's really explained in the game, which I know Mario games aren't necessarily the most for explaining, but it's always nice to get some explanation because you really don't know why anything's going on. But still, it is super fun, super engaging. So I'm gonna give it a 1.5. I don't feel like it's high enough to get a 2, and I don't feel like it's low enough to get a 1, so I'm giving it a 1.5. Nice average, I'd say, for a story. How about you, Void Knight?
Well, John, personally, the way I look at it, Mario is just one of those games where it's never really had anything too complicated. It's always kind of stayed very, very similar. And I do agree, I would probably give the rating for story a 1.5 out of 3. And I agree with that because I kind of want to see Mario games take it a little bit in a different direction. Because, of course, we all know, Mario. It's simple plot, just Mario, Peach gets captured, Bowser steal, all the issues, But I would like to see them kind of come up with something a little bit different. Like, maybe they could add, some other characters into the mix. Like, imagine if we got some other characters to come back, like old villains back in like the 90s and stuff. A bunch of other cool characters to be added. I do think that is one of Nintendo's biggest problems in Mario games, and I do agree with the actual story not being explained too much. You start off the very first cutscene in the game. You actually are playing, like, you watch the cutscene and Mario's just kind of walking, and he kind of just appears. He sees footsteps that are like of the paint or goo or whatever you want to call it, and he just goes towards it, and it's not really explained what happened to Peach, Luigi, Toad. It's not really explained. If I remember correctly from what I played, I do not remember if they ever explained what happened to them, if they were, because originally when leaks came out, or not leaks, when the game was actually revealed, people thought that they were turned into cats, but I have no clue if that's actually what it is. But I don't remember I don't think they explained anything about them. Besides that, I do agree. It is kind of just go around and collect. I don't think it's stars. I think they're like little heart piece things. They kind of look like that. But I do agree. It does get a little repetitive, but I think the plot, I think it's an average rating as well. I would personally give it a 1.5 out of 3. I definitely agree here, Phantom Knight.
Thank you for that, Void Knight. Good points you made there. But now we are at a 4.5 out of 10. Moving on to our third category, we're going to be talking about gameplay. Obviously, everybody knows gameplay is one of the most important, if not the most important. Actually, I'm going to state it right here. I think gameplay is the most important thing in a game. The story could be terrible. There's plenty of games that really don't have any story, but it's just an absolute blast to play, and you like the game because it's an absolute blast to play. And then there's some games that look, they're not like the most insane visually, but they're again great to play. They're just a blast, and that's really what games all about, to have fun. And so gameplay makes that possible. So when it comes to the gameplay in Bowser's Fury, in my opinion, this is one of the best when it comes to gameplay. Some could argue it is the best. I don't think many would argue that, but I could definitely see, because there's a lot of people, and there's a lot of people that probably play this game. So for maybe some few people, they could argue that it is the best. And I wouldn't necessarily disagree with them, but maybe I wouldn't agree either. But it is one of the best. That is for sure. That's my opinion. From receiving assistance from Bowser Jr. to the amazing 3D platforming in the game, this gameplay is almost perfect. The one flaw is sometimes I feel like the camera angles get a little bit weird, especially whenever you're fighting Giga Bowser, Giant Bowser, whatever you want to call him. Yeah, the camera angles do get a little bit weird, but that doesn't hurt the game too much. I feel like swimming is great, fighting is fun, and exploring is super satisfying. And that's another thing. The gameplay is the way you kind of play the game, and it is an open world game, which is super cool. That's something we don't get very often, and there's just so much to do, and it's great. So I give this a 3 out of 3. There's nothing to really drop it any lower than a 3 out of 3. So that's my opinion.
Well, Phantom Knight, I will say one thing. I definitely, and I mean definitely, agree with a 3 out of 3 for gameplay here. The gameplay from playing it's amazing. Like it feels like Odyssey without actually having Cappy. That's kind of how I see it. It's one of those things where it's kind of like it looks like it really tried to look like Odyssey, in my opinion. It looked so similar, but it's just you didn't have Cappy with you. And I do agree, the gameplay was super fun. It felt so smooth. It felt great. I still prefer Odyssey and Mario Galaxy gameplay more, personally, because, Mario Galaxy is one of my favorite games. And that, just in general, I absolutely love the gameplay in that, and that's one of the main reasons it's my favorite. And even though it has motion controls, I still love it. But, and also Odyssey. Odyssey just takes the cake a little bit more for me because of Cappy and having that extra activity to do, or that extra, let's say, item, I'd say, to actually use for your benefits. But I do agree with the 3 out of 3. The gameplay is great. It's so much fun. I didn't really have any issues, to be honest. For me, camera angles worked fine. Water, the water, swimming through water was all right. Everything was just great. I just felt like the gameplay was personally the best part of the entire game, or Bowser's Fury in general. So I definitely agree with that. I will definitely agree with 3 out of 3 rating.
Awesome. That brings our total to, I gotta do math here. We got a 7.5 out of 10. And there is one more category, which is music. You can only earn up to 1 point here. And luckily, this game, for me, does it. I think this game does deserve the 1 point. It honestly deserves more points for the music, but we're only doing one in these reviews. I love the music in this game, especially when Bowser appears. The music that plays in the background when Bowser appears is always stuck in my head. Like, I just love the absolute guitar riff that starts playing. It is amazing. It definitely stands out. When Bowser isn't awake, the music is also nice. I'm not going to say it's as amazing as when Bowser awakes, but it's nice, it's peaceful, it's enjoyable. Overall, I think the game has an amazing score. How about you, Void Knight?
Well, Phantom Knight, I will say, I know I've been agreeing with you a lot, but I don't know, man. We both agree on a lot of things, and I definitely agree this does deserve the point. I wouldn't say this is the best Mario game when it comes to music, but I do think for what it was, it did hold its part. It did, hold the music was, it held itself accountable. It really took, nothing too crazy. It had a lot of good ones, a lot of songs that fit the mood of certain areas in the game, and I personally enjoy that. Like I said, I'm really biased for Mario Galaxy. I love that game. I still think it has the best music in all of Mario, and I don't think it's close. But I will say, for the most part, I think the music was Really good. I think it really fit in a lot of areas. I think it did a really good job. Nothing too crazy. Nothing like, that, nothing too where we're just like, this is aight, or this just isn't that great. Nah, it was okay. It was good. Nothing too crazy. So I'd give it the point. I definitely would give it the point here.
Alrighty, and with that said, that brings our total to 8.5 out of 10. That will be the final score. Overall, it's a B, and it's a pretty average B. And to be honest, that's kind of what you want from a game. Obviously, everybody wants an A+. Everybody always wants an A+. But the thing is, you don't want a low grade. That is like the main thing. You don't want a low rated game, and Bowser's Fury is nothing near a low grade. It is an absolute amazing game to play. It is super fun. Overall, this game is a blast. Could have benefited from being a little longer, I feel, because it was only like 5 hours, if even. But when it comes to the quality, it's superb. I would absolutely recommend trying this game. But I can't say it is a must-play due to the paywall of $60, especially for a 5-hour game. However, it does come with Super Mario 3D World, and if you haven't played that, maybe it's worth the pickup. But if you have played 3D World and you don't really want to replay it, then that's definitely a steep paywall to get a 5-hour game. However, but nonetheless, you will have an incredible time playing this game and walk away satisfied. I know that's how I felt, and let's see how Void Knight felt.
Well, Phantom Knight, I completely agree. Once again, as always, I will say I agree with Phantom Knight when it comes to the paywall. Personally, coming from someone that played Super Mario 3D World on the Wii U when it first came out, I was a little disappointed to see that the game, but I thought Bowser's Fury was amazing. But I really wish they would have done something a little bit different with the original game. I would have really given it a higher, if we were counting both, I would have been so excited giving it such a high rating, because I think combining, if they just added more to the original, I think it would have been one of the best ones out there. It's so much fun. Playing with friends on Super Mario 3D World, the original, it's so much fun, and I really would have enjoyed if they added extra levels. But I do agree with the paywall. If you have already played the original, it will be a problem, because it was 5 hours of extra content. There wasn't a whole lot. It was just too quick, in my opinion. There was just too many. It was too easy to actually get I think I'm gonna call them stars, but it was too easy to get them. They were too accessible, and I personally feel Mario games aren't supposed to be hard. They're supposed to be somewhat easy and medium difficulty. But I feel like the difficulty was another thing that I really feel made the game feel shorter. Everything felt a little squished. It was an open world, which was great, but it just felt a little too easy to get to the accessible stars. But overall, it's a great game. I recommend playing it. Even if you haven't played the original, I'd still give it a try. If you want to play Bowser's Fury, I definitely recommend it. It's very fun, very great. I think you'll have a fun time, and you'll walk away satisfied, like Phantom Knight said.
Well, that's going to conclude our review for Bowser's Fury. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you haven't checked out our other reviews, which at the time of uploading and recording this, there's only one other one. However, thank you guys so much for tuning in. Void Knight, thank you for tuning in. I absolutely agree with everything he said. And from the sounds of it sounds like he agreed with everything I said. But anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed it, definitely leave a like, leave a comment in the section down below provided, and please subscribe. And I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.